Hey everyone, welcome to Dust House with Thomas Gunn, and today we're going to be making a almost no knead bread, which is pretty simple. So we're going to start with the base recipe, and you can stop at that, or after that you can also customize it. So I'd say start this at least 8 hours ahead because you want it to rise 8 to 18 hours. So typically we just rise it overnight. So in a bowl you have 3 cups of flour. To the flour, you're going to add 8 grams of instant yeast. In Canada, it's metric. If you're somewhere else and it's not metric, that's one of those small packages. And give that a mix. I just prefer to do this because you're not supposed to add salt directly with yeast. It inhibits it. So if you cover the yeast with a bit of flour, it's a little barrier. So then you're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to mix that in. And then 3/4 of a cup of room temperature water. To that you can add 1 tablespoon of white vinegar and 12 tablespoons 12 tablespoons of a light beer. I'd say anywhere from 5 to 8% alcohol is fine. And we're going to just give this a good stir. So you're not going to get your hands in this at all. You're just going to mix it until it's the right consistency, which you'll be able to see here when I'm done. Sometimes you end up having to add a little bit more liquid if all the flour doesn't get eaten up, which sometimes depends on the humidity in the air, temperature in your house. Incidentally, if I didn't say, I'm just using regular white flour. So as you can see, there's a little extra flour. So I'd say that was probably 1.5 tablespoons of more beer. So as you can see, there's no more extra flour sitting in the bottom of the bowl. So we're good here. So that's the base recipe. If that's all you're doing, which is fine, it comes out great, you would cover this now with plastic wrap, put it aside overnight or at least 8 hours. And once that's done, I'll come back and we'll continue. But for this recipe, I'm actually going to customize it a bit. So we're going to go an Italian route. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of dried oregano. Rosemary, I'm sorry. It's rosemary. You could do oregano, by the way. To this, we're going to add a generous cup of grated parmesan. And a generous cup of chopped Kalamata olives, which have been pitted. I imagine you could use green olives as well as you like. And we're going to mix this up. Just trying to get it all incorporated. We don't want to over mix it. This will be a nice flavorful bread. And like I said, I mean, I put rosemary, but you could very easily add thyme. You could add basil. You could probably do basil, and dried sun-dried tomatoes would be really nice. You could do oregano and feta. Anyway, it's up to your imagination. You've got the base recipe now. So we're almost there. Like I said, this is going to get covered now. It's going to rise overnight, and we'll come back after the rise is done. Okay, we're back. It's been rising, the second rise, for 2 hours. So we're going to take the lid off the pot. We're going to lift off the plastic. That smells good. We're going to sprinkle it lightly with some regular all-purpose flour. At this point, if you wanted, you could also put on some sesame seeds or poppy seeds or a mix. I don't have any, so today we're going old school. And then you're going to cut a shallow X on the top. I'd say we're going in about 1/2 inch. And it's just a very small one. We didn't go all the way across the loaf. Now you're going to cover it. And then it goes into the middle rack of a cold oven. Now you turn the oven on to 425. Once it reaches the 425, from then on you start counting 30 minutes. After the 30 minutes, you take the cover off and let it bake for another 30 minutes, and then it should be done. So there we go. It's just out of the oven about 1/2 hour ago. Like I said, cold oven, 425, covered 1/2 hour, and then cover off in another 1/2 hour. By the way, if I didn't mention, the recipe is meant for a Dutch oven, which is these heavy cast iron pots. If you know that another pot or method is doable, then leave it below in the comment section. But as far as I know, it works best with a Dutch oven. So we're going to slice this one open. You can hear the nice crisp crust. Beautiful. Doesn't that look great? Nice aeration. You see the olives. You can see some of the herbs in there. It's going to be great. So give this recipe a try. Do just the basic method or adjust it to any flavors you might like. Bon appetit, guten appetit. Until I see you next time.